So good evening. We are back again, and a lot of you guys have been asking for this collaboration. So we made it happen. Welcome to the channel, Eunice.
Thank you very much, man. Yeah, I heard, and you invited me. I was like, yeah, absolutely, Lee Gunn. I'll definitely have a convo with him. So no, thanks for having me on. Thanks for having me on, man.
No, you're welcome, man. And I see your channel popping up all the time, and I watch a few of your videos as well. So, and you know your stuff, man. And that's what I like that's what I do on this channel. I don't get any old clown on here. It's always people that know football. And yeah, man, we're going to talk about Chelsea amongst a few other things. We might touch on Arsenal. It might wind me up, but we might do a bit of Arsenal. But let's start off. Big up to everybody in the chat already as well. And Eunice's channel link is in the title. If you haven't subscribed, you're smashing it as well, man. 60K.
60K now, yeah. Nearly that's 61. It's going well. It's going well. Road to 100K.
What, 9 months ago? 10 months?
8, I think. So July.
Wow.
Yeah, July. Obviously, I was doing YouTube before then, but I thought to really just revamp and start from zero and start from scratch. July, yeah. So 8 months or so.
That's mental, really. When you think about that, that's insane. This channel's on what, 54K, and I've had it since maybe 24 months. No, maybe a bit more than that. 27 months.
Yeah.
But for you to get that many subs that quickly, that's mental, mate. Fair play to you, man.
Thank you, man. I mean, to be honest, it worked out well because I had my channel beforehand, and I made all my mistakes there. So I thought, you know what, let me go from scratch and keep the standard high and just take everything I've learned over, and I've just stuck with that. So yeah, it's paid off. Thankfully.
No, you're doing well, man, and I know you work hard as well. I see your streams pop up all the time, and it's like, there's not many people that can put the graft in. I know during lockdown it's probably a little bit easier, but
yeah, for sure.
To do the amount of streams you do, like Rants is another one, Terry on Football Terrace, me. If one of us, if I ain't streaming, one of you three are. It's mad. It's crazy. Every time I load up YouTube, it's like you're there, Rants is there, Terry's there. It's madness, man. But big ups for coming on. And let's start off with Lampard, obviously club legend. All-time top goal scorer for Chelsea. Me personally, I thought he got the job a bit too early. I think he should have stayed at Derby for another season or two, maybe. Mate, at least one. He came in, transfer ban was obviously in place, and he got your top four. He done really well with a young squad. Got a few of the youngsters coming through. Personally, I think Mason Mount gets so much stick off of your fans. I think he's been your best player this season, but we can come to that. But what did you feel with Lampard? Was you one that wanted him out in the end, or did you think he was harshly treated and he should have been given till the end of the season?
No. In the end, I wanted him gone. Not for the sake of just get rid of Lamps, because it was the first time where we reluctantly were saying he's got to go. Like, it's not just your average guy; it's Lampard. For us, it's unbelievable. It's like a Thierry Henry walking into Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? Like, if he were to be Arsenal manager, and then you believe that there's a process that's about to happen, and then it comes to it where your back's against the wall, and you have to say, look, he's got to go. That's the situation we were in. So, for the sake of the club and where we were heading, I in the end went, you know what? He's just not ready. He's just not ready. He's got to go. It's just not at the level yet that he can perform on a standard, as a top manager. He's got much more to learn. And when we were going through that process and we were thinking, okay, if we were to get rid of him, who do we bring in? That's when, we were all like, is this the right decision? Is this the wrong decision? But now we look at it and flip and yeah, it was the right decision to get rid. It was. But yeah, Lampard, he came in at the very beginning, when we started hearing the rumours that we could be going for Lampard. Sarri's off, he's going back home. Who are we going for? We started hearing Lamps. And we were like, he's done all right at Derby, yeah, but don't you think this is too soon? And all of us were saying it. All of us were like, this is too soon. We don't want a club legend to come to Chelsea and face the wrath that every Chelsea manager faces.
Yeah,
we don't want that.
Your fan base is ruthless, man. Seriously, like,
and the club are ruthless. The club are ruthless when it comes to it. I mean, you look at the way other managers have had to go through it. Even Mourinho, what he's accomplished, and he's had to go through it. So we were like, we don't want that happening to Lamps. We love him too much. But the problem, and this is where it flipped, once it became official, we all just jumped on the bandwagon. We all just were, oh yeah, Lamps is home, flipping get in there. Yeah, Lamps is back at Chelsea. We just
sentiment kicked in, didn't it?
Nostalgia just happened. Yeah, just sentiment kicked in. That first season, we had the excuses, transfer ban. Eden Hazard had left. These young players from the academy, we had to use them. So, there was a leeway there. But second season, we've brought in signings and we're all like, yeah, you know what? We're title contenders now. And then we find ourselves ninth. It's just, it all went wrong. It all went wrong. But now we know Lampard wasn't ready.
No. And the thing is, Chelsea are a football club that we moved stadium to be. That's how I look at it. Like, what you're doing and how you're doing it is what we smashed Highbury down for. Yeah, to do exactly the same. Maybe not as ruthless in terms of sacking managers every season, but listen, I see a stat the other day that Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, and Chelsea, the last 15 years have had 43 managers between them. Yeah, wow. That's 43 in between them three clubs in 15 years.
Are we responsible for half of that?
Pretty much level. I think Bayern Munich have had more managers than I think they've had 16 in 15 years. Blimey. Yeah, and I think you had 14 in 15 years or 13, something like that, and then Real Madrid had the rest. Yeah, but if you look at that, like people seem to have this like theory that you have to have longevity in football, and like the manager has to be here for years and build it, and that's because of the likes of Wenger, the likes of Fergie. Yeah. So I kind of get that, but if you look at them three teams I just named, they're the three most successful teams in Europe and in their own country. Yeah, and they've had the most managers in that period. It's unbelievable. And when you look at some of the ruthlessness that your club has done over the years, I mean, Ancelotti got sacked after the final, didn't he? I mean,
he got sacked in the tunnel at Everton, like at Goodison Park. In the tunnel, he was told your job's gone.
That's it. Yeah, sorry, he was sacked in the tunnel, not the final. You're right. And then you've got Sarri wins you the Europa League, gets your top four, but I think he'd already agreed to leave before the final, didn't he?
He wasn't sacked. That's a misconception that I hear a lot. No, he wanted to go home. He wanted to go home. I don't know. He just got homesick or he had enough. I don't know, but he just wanted to leave. So Chelsea were like, okay, you can go.
Yeah. And then obviously Antonio Conte as well. That's somebody who I look at and I think, do you know what? That guy don't need time anywhere he goes. Like he literally turns rubbish into gold straight away. Like literally, like, and I remember we beat you at the Emirates. Legit. And that was where it all changed. And he changed to a back three and just battered everyone for the rest of the season. It was mad. And again, like,
it was,
he went back to Italy. He took Inter from 20-odd points behind Juve to 1 point off in his first season and the Europa League final. Yeah, and it's just like, and now this season he's top of the table. It's like
he's going to win the league,
Yeah, when you look at some of the managers you've had down the years, I mean, AVB was probably, for me, the worst manager you had out of all of these managers, including Lampard. I'd even put, like, I think Lampard was better than him. AVB was a shambles, bruv. Like, and that guy came so highly recommended by every coach in Europe. Like, oh, he's going to be a superstar. And this is what I look at when Arsenal fans talk about Mikel Arteta and Pep said this and Wenger said. I think, but everyone was saying this about AVB. And now he's just left Marseille. He's just walked. He's done. Or he wants to leave. I don't know if he's still there, but I think he left because of a signing or something. I don't know, but.
He's suspended. He's suspended over there because they bought a player and he didn't know about it. And then he fell on a tantrum and they decided to just suspend him. So he's not actually gone. He's just not in the job. It's a weird one. But AVB was touted as the next Mourinho and, all of that madness. And we thought we'd have longevity again because he's young. He came in and wanted to bench Didier, Lampard, Terry. He thought, I'm going to stick all these old lads on the bench. And then we went on to win the Champions League without him. So, it's crazy.
That leads me on perfectly because we're as a fan base kind of split at the moment. Majority, I'd say probably 80%, 70% want Arteta in. And then 30%, roughly, I'd say probably don't. But the majority still want him in. Yeah, and which is fair enough. Listen, everyone's entitled to their own opinion on it. But they keep using this, but he's won a trophy. Well, they keep saying 2 trophies. One ain't a trophy. It's a glorified soccer aid. Yeah, that's all it is. It's a community game. Yeah. And then we obviously won the FA Cup. But this is why I wanted to ask you this, right?
Yeah.
When Di Matteo won you that Champions League and then won you the FA Cup, or the other way around, it was FA Cup, then Champions League, I think.
It was, yeah.
He done it in 26 games. 26 games after that, you sacked him. Yeah. For me, the reason you sacked him, I wanted to ask you this. For me, the reason you sacked him is because even though he'd done that and he got a big boost out of them players real quick, and you just knew they were going to win the Champions League. When Messi hits the crossbar on the penalty in the semi, you just knew you were going to win it. Yeah, it was just your season. It was written in the stars. And then obviously you sacked him. Did you want Di Matteo sacked? Because your start to the season, the following season, was absolutely horrendous. Like you were down in, I think, 7th or something, real quick.
It was, yeah. I think it was the first 10 games or so. And yeah, it was going wrong. Personally, I didn't want him gone. I still thought, oh, you know what? It's the first season since he's won the Champions League. Let's give him that bit of time. So when that news came out, and I remember I was at uni at the time, I heard that news. Di Matteo's been sacked, and I wasn't angry. I was just like, hang on, what? Like, it's been 10 games. Well, what are we doing? What are we sacking again? I mean, thankfully that started a spiral in terms of, we got Benitez after that, and that led to Mourinho because that was the ultimate goal to get him back to the club, which is at the time what everyone wanted. But Di Matteo getting sacked, I had it deep down within me that maybe he's not that long-term solution because he just come in and sorted one problem out that AVB had at Chelsea. He got everyone back on side. That's it. He unified the dressing room because the dressing room was split. He simply went, all right, look, all these players, these legends that AVB wanted to put on the bench, I'm going to use all of you because you guys are the best what we have. And he just unified the team. They went on and won the Champions League. I don't necessarily put that down to Di Matteo's coaching ability. So when he was fired, I wasn't gutted. I wasn't crying my eyes out, but I did have that thing in the back of my head of it's only been 10 games. Are we going to sack any manager that comes now, like just on a regular? So that's where I stood with it.
That's got to be one of the most ruthless sackings of a manager. Like for the amount of games that he had and the 2 trophies that he won. I mean, we're not talking about Mickey Mouse competitions here. We're talking about the oldest club competition and the biggest prize in Europe. Yeah, and it's like, and he won them so quick, bang bang. But this is how I see it with Arteta. Is like you came in and you just got a boost in that fight in that final and semi-final. Yeah, like the quarter-final, we got lucky because they had 2 goals disallowed for offside by VAR. And then we had, I think, about 9 minutes stoppage time. We scored in the last minute of that 9 and we got through. Yeah, but we played Man City. We deserved that. And against you, I thought we were very lucky to win that, put it that way. Yeah, Pulisic getting injured as he's about to score. Kovacic red card, that weren't a second yellow. And Aubameyang, what a winner. What a goal that was, man. It was just unbelievable. But I feel like this manager's very similar. Like, I think he's a better coach. Don't get it twisted. I think he's definitely better than Di Matteo. But I don't think he's the long-term solution. And I don't put necessarily trophies to how good a manager is on a short period of time. If you do it over a long time, like Fergie did or like Wenger did, then you can say, okay, cool. Yeah, like Pep's done. But when you come in and you've just won 1 in the first season, or like Di Matteo did 2 in that season, that doesn't mean you're a great football manager or a great football coach. That just means that it all clicked and it happened for me. Whether Arteta proves me wrong or not remains to be seen. But but ideally, I'd like to do what you lot did and get rid of him and go and get a proper manager because you've got Thomas Tuchel in now. And I've got to admit, I didn't really rate him when you were linked with him. I was just like, Tuchel, why are you getting him in? Like, he's got PSG like 3rd in the table this season. Like, come on. Yeah, but he's come in, bruv. He has been unbelievable, man. Like, you could see in the first game against Wolves after 1 training session and I think 2 phone call meetings or something, or 2 meetings. Yeah, the style of play changed already.
It's unbelievable. I was like you to an extent. Like he wasn't my first choice. When we all heard about Lampard, getting the chop, and the rumors had started, we'd lost to City, already lost to you. We're about to lose to Leicester, and we all started hearing Lampard's going. We were like, okay, cool. I'd say majority of the fan base wanted Nagelsmann, but we knew that would be impossible until the end of the season. So we were like, all right, get an interim, which apparently was what Chelsea wanted to do. They wanted to get Ralph Rangnick as an interim and then get Nagelsmann at the end of the season, but he turned that down. Rangnick didn't want a short-term job just until the end of the season. He wanted it beyond. So that's when Chelsea turned to Tuchel. I was like you and thinking, Tuchel, maybe he's just lucky, maybe he had PSG and you're going to win the French league with PSG because it's PSG, Yeah. Now we look at what he's doing. He's the best thing that could have happened. He really is the best thing that could have happened. And right now, I think the fan base haven't connected with a manager like this, aside from Lampard because he's a club legend, but connected with a manager like this since Mourinho. Where it really feels new, fresh, young, energetic, full of ideas, unbeatable, solid, concrete. It's just unreal. And yeah, you're right. That first he had one training session. He landed, went straight to Cobham, didn't even go to the bridge, went straight to Cobham, put on his tracksuit, bish bash bosh, training session, 1 hour, next day, game. And
and I think you made more passes in that game than you'd made in any game all season. Just ping, ping, ping. I was sitting there thinking, one session. He hadn't even been in the country 24 hours. I was getting so wound up with it because I was sitting there thinking, look, I can see a style of play in one training session with this guy, and I've been waiting 15 months with Arteta. I still can't see it. It's so frustrating when you see other teams and they change a manager, and people are saying they'll just get that manager bounce and then it'll fall down again. I don't think that's going to be the case with this guy because
neither do I. You
can see that when he's on the touchline, he gets really angry at times. Like if a player misses an easy chance, he's going mad. Yeah, whereas you see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer giving it thumbs up and laughing. It's like, you look at him and you just think, look at the levels, right? Arteta's a bit of both. He can do both. He'll get angry, but he'll also give a bit of encouragement and say, don't worry, mate. But I like a manager that's really no, you should have buried that. Yeah, you should have buried that. And I want somebody to have a go at them, and make them realise that, look, this is the standard, not just here. And I think that he's come in, and I think he has raised the standards again for your club, because a lot of your fans that I used to see on social media were just accepting Lampard. Yeah, but you were 10th.
Exactly. And that's the mistake. That's where people got confused with Lampard the player and Lampard the manager. They're two separate entities. As much as we hate to say it, it's two separate people. Lampard the player, that will always be legendary. No one can ever touch that ever again. That is there and it's protected and it's a legacy, and he's one of, if not the best player ever for Chelsea Football Club. That cannot be, discouraged in any way. But Lampard the manager, he just wasn't ready. Simple as that. He just wasn't ready. And you look at Tuchel, his man management specifically, because Lampard had isolated quite a few players, which at the time a lot of the fan base thought was the right decision. Rudiger just left to rot. Alonso left to rot. Christensen left to rot. Kepa, he couldn't even get a game. Just Jorginho, not really used. There were players there that were just abandoned. What Tuchel's done is incorporated them and utilized the entire squad. And it's not just that. When you look, as you mentioned, in terms of Tuchel giving the orders off the touchline and really getting onto everyone's cases, it's not just doing that for the sake of doing that. Tuchel is all about the detail. He really is, like the tiny detail. Like one little bad move on a position, or, one little late run, or one, fault with a pass, or he recognizes these things that Lampard couldn't even dream of, and he gets angry at them, and you can see on the touchline, he gets wound up and he's sitting down. 10 minutes into the game that we just had in the cup against Sheffield United, and he was already going and talking to his assistant, and we're like, hang on, it's been 10 minutes, calm down, give it a chance. But you could see he's given instructions out, and it's all about the detail. So that's why now we're convinced it's not just a honeymoon period. It's not just, things are going well and they're gonna go wrong at some point. No, we're quite convinced that Tuchel has managed to fix everything that needed to be fixed, and now he's really basing the team on his methodology, his way, and getting the players to understand the detail, you know. So
I think that was evident when he put Hudson-Odoi on and then subbed him. Yeah, and then came out afterwards in the press conference. I actually watched the press conference because it was all kicking off on social media. And I was like, what's happened? Because I didn't actually watch that game. Yeah. So I was like, what's going on? What's going on? So I watched the press conference, and the way he explained why he done it, yeah, he really had a go at Hudson-Odoi, but he done it and spun it back the other way to say, but I've played him every week, and I really want him as an integral part of the team. So he sort of bashed him from up here to down there and then built him back up again. The next time Hudson-Odoi played, he was superb. Yeah. Yeah. And it was just like, well, that's man management. And he outed him to the public. He's outed him to all the Chelsea fans. Hudson-Odoi gets massive praise from your fans all the time because he's come through the academy. So you're obviously going to, look at him and give him a bit more leeway. But the manager ain't, because the manager can see there's a top-class footballer in there. And if he does as he's told, he will be a top-class footballer.
Exactly.
And that's what it's all about. And I think that you've got a really good manager there, and he's really surprised me, man, because I didn't think he was as good as that, like as he's been. Obviously, it's only 13 games that he's been here.
14 or 15 now. 14, I think. But yeah, I didn't think so either. I don't think any of us expected this. We thought that we knew we'd get a bounce, but we didn't think we'd get this. Like, this is unreal. The other thing of Tuchel, many had the worry of his experience at Dortmund and his experience at PSG. He'd fallen out with the board at Dortmund. He fell out with the board at PSG. Now, two separate and isolated incidents, but that immediately got us clicking like, if he comes to Chelsea, flipping hell.
Roman Abramovich.
Do you know what I mean? And Marina, she doesn't take any crap either. So it was refreshing to hear him personally come out and talk about his experience at Dortmund and PSG as a Chelsea manager and say, in those times I made mistakes, even though I feel like they made mistakes too, but I made mistakes and I'm not looking to rectify those. I'm not looking to repeat those mistakes. I've rectified myself and I'm learning. And he's very, self-evaluating. He always just looks at himself and how he can make himself better, let alone his players and everyone around him. So yeah, those little doubts that we had, gone. So
his press conferences, I've seen a few of his press conferences. He speaks so well in them. It's like you can tell he has got an elite level coaching brain. Yeah, and it's just like the way he puts things across. Maybe it's with his German accent as well. It makes it sound more efficient. I don't know. I don't know. But he does speak very well. He does speak very well.
Very well.
Obviously, in this little run that you've had since he's been here, you've knocked out Atletico Madrid with absolute ease. Yeah. That was one of the easiest two-legged games I've ever seen for a team against Atletico Madrid. That was ridiculous, man. Suarez was anonymous. Felix was anonymous. They literally must have had about 3 shots in 2 games. Yeah, and on another two-legged affair, you probably could have done them 3 or 4.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was comfortable. I rate them. I rate Simeone highly. I think he's quality. But for you to take them apart as easy as you did over 2 legs was just unbelievable. And I don't think Lampard would have ever got near that, if I'm honest. Yeah, because the levels are just staggering from one to the other. And then you beat Liverpool. And this is why I get on very well with Chelsea fans. Yeah, very well. Like, I used to work with Tony Rolfe. Yeah, me and him worked together.
Oh, yeah. I know Tony.
Me and him worked together for 15 years, mate. Like, he's proper Chelsea. Like,
he is. He's diehard.
Everywhere, man. Yeah, we worked together for 15 years, man. Mad. And I know so much about Chelsea because of him. Like, and when I was with him when Abramovich brought Chelsea. Yeah, and he was in my ear. I'm just like, nah, man. He was doing my brain in. But yeah, it's like, it's funny because like the one thing I like about Chelsea fans is the fact you never blame referees or VAR, because our fans are rife at doing that. It's rife in our fan base. But you had a goal disallowed against Liverpool. Werner's t-shirt was offside, like just a corner of his t-shirt. Yeah. But I didn't see any Chelsea fans crying about that because you still went on to win the game. Yeah, you then had another one against Everton for handball against, I think it was Havertz. It wasn't handball. Nobody's chested it. But from the angle, it did look handball, but it wasn't. But you won that game. So nobody moaned about that. Whereas like when that's your only goal and you don't win the game because it gets scrubbed off, then everyone starts moaning. And that's the difference with you and us, is we don't create and we haven't got a set. I think we have got a game plan every game, but we don't know what we're doing with it. Yeah, because I think the manager overcomplicates it too much at our place. Whereas at yours, it's a clear, right, this is what we're doing. And if you ain't doing it, you're sub straight away. Not wait until half time. I'm not waiting until 20 minutes to go to make a sub. It'll be done now. And that's why I do think that you're going to win. You're going to win something this season, definitely. And you've got the Champions League. What do you make of the draw? You're jammy bastards, I swear. I can't lie.
Nah, you know what? We needed some luck. We needed the luck. I see Man City getting the easy draw every single season. And we were just praying, like, please, let's get Porto. No disrespect to Porto, because they knocked out Juve. They're no mugs, but they are the easiest out of all the teams left. So we were like, please, let's get Porto. And when it got to the semi-final draw, we were all like, okay, if we can get Real Madrid, Liverpool, maybe Dortmund, something like that along the way, perfect. And it happened exactly like that. It was the perfect draw for us. And it's given us that belief now. We are honestly beginning to dream now. Like, this is probably 2012 on repeat. So,
this is the thing. Like, I watched the Juve Porto game, and Porto fully deserved to win that. Like, Juve was shocking, man. Ronaldo disappeared, Ramsey disappeared. They just had nothing, and Porto fully deserved. But they're not going to be an easy team. Like, they're very technically good, Porto, and they've got some danger men in their team as well. But I do think you'll beat them. I think that'd be comfortable as well. But it won't be. It'll be comfortable in terms of scoreline, but it won't be comfortable in terms of the two legs, because I think they're a good football team. Yeah, but then after that, so if you get to a semi-final, which you should, then it's like it's on now. And the funny thing is I'm kind of feeling that with Europa League as well, because I didn't think this guy could get us to the final, but now I think he can. Even though I don't rate him, even though I can't stand him as manager of the club, I'm looking at it thinking we've got Slavia Prague, and then either Zagreb or Villarreal, and then we're in the final.
Wow. You should be making that final.
And then we'll probably end up with either Man United or Ajax or Roma, one of them, because they play each other.
Weirdly enough, I reckon United could make that. I think we could get an Arsenal-United final.
And then the Super Cup final could be Arsenal-Chelsea.
Yeah, it could be.
But do you think you'll win it? Or is it more dreaming at the moment? But do you think you, like, obviously you can win it, but do you think you'll win it?
No, you know what? It's not at the moment. It's not a question of, do we think we can win the competition? At the moment, it's more of a belief of we're going to Istanbul. We're going to the final. Because in the final, we're going to have to play against either Bayern Munich, Man City, PSG, or Borussia Dortmund. And realistically, I think it's going to be either Bayern Munich or Man City.
Yeah.
PSG, if they can somehow do it against Bayern Munich, I don't think so. So Bayern Munich, I reckon, are going to be that team. Regardless, whoever you get in that final, more likely to be Bayern Munich. To say you're going to beat them, that's unrealistic. You just have to pray and just go, I hope we win. So I can't come on here and say, we're going to win the Champions League. But it's the best feeling and it's the best opportunity since 2012. Even in that semi-final we had in 2014 when Mourinho was there. Even so, this feels like we have more of a destiny on our side again, like it happened in 2012. It just feels like maybe the stars are aligning again. So, I reckon realistically, with the way that we're playing and tactically and how we're looking under Tuchel, the final should happen, because I truly think we get past Porto. We can get past either Real Madrid. We can beat Liverpool. We've done it in the league. We can beat them over two legs. So we're quite confident. A final, yeah. Yeah,
man. No, it would be mad. And you're right. The way that season in 2012 happened was pretty similar, albeit it was an interim manager in the end. Interim. He got the job, but he was interim, really, wasn't he? But you sacked a manager, you got a manager in, and then you went on and won it. And it's kind of looking like that could be the same. But then because it's in Istanbul, don't rule out Liverpool, because they've won it in Istanbul. Yeah, and like they'd be thinking like we can do it again. And they've been shocking this season. So it wouldn't surprise me if they finished outside the top four, which I think they're going to, but then go and win it. But then you've got Real Madrid, who they've won it more than anyone. And Bayern Munich. Like, I've seen something the other day that every time, I think in the last 20 years or 25 years, every time Bayern Munich have won the Champions League, Real Madrid have won it the following season. So
really?
It's mad. Yeah, it's like 3 times it's happened in the last 20 years or something, that every time Bayern have won it the following year, Real Madrid win it. So, but it's Dortmund. Don't rule Dortmund out, man. They've got Erling Haaland slapping in records for fun in that competition, man. Like breaking record after record after record. So it's not easy to win. It's not easy to win that at all. But you've got the manager, you've got the players. Yeah, albeit some of them ain't really lived up to the hype at the minute, but you've still got the players. And if they do come out of their shell, some of these, like Werner, Havertz is getting a bit better, I think, recently. Yeah. I like Werner. I think he's quality, but I think that you've wasted him most of the season, like where you've played him like all over the place. Like for me personally, I'll ask you as well, but I think he's a number 9. He's not a left forward. Like, I know he done that. He kind of floated all over the front line at Leipzig. For me, if you put him up front with Havertz just behind him at a number 10, 9.5, something like that, second striker, I think you'll see the best of him, because Havertz is tall. He's quite physical compared to Werner. He can win the flick-ons. You ain't catching him once he's gone. And if you play to that, which I've seen you try and do since this manager's come in, but I think going forward next season, that has to be, you don't need to go and buy a striker. That is your striker.
I mean, the problem is, especially if we end up getting rid of Giroud and Tammy Abraham, because Giroud, maybe at the end of the season, he might be off. That's a possibility. Tammy Abraham doesn't want to sign again. It's looking like, because he's intimidated by us going for Haaland. Right now, Haaland's the most in-demand player in the world right now. Let's have it right. I think, you know, if you have him in your team, you're scoring goals. And right now, our problem is
that expensive.
Huh?
Really? He's not that expensive, really.
He's not, when you think about it. No. I mean, it will be about 100 and maybe 130, 150 million. We're talking, possibly.
That's this summer. If you buy him next summer, I think the clause is 65.
It is, but that's the thing. Dortmund won't let that happen. Dortmund know that if they leave it, they're going to lose money. So they'll probably just flog him this season, especially if they don't make top 4 in the Bundesliga. So, you know, if you have Haaland in your team, you're bagging in goals. It's going to happen. So right now, with the struggles we've had with Werner, and I agree, I don't think he'll struggle next season. But if we do get rid of Tammy, if Giroud leaves, we've only got Werner. It'll only be nice to have Haaland as another striker at Chelsea. You know? It would be lovely.
Get Haaland.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh my God! When I speak to Chelsea fans, it's just a different level, bro. Oh, man, seriously, why did I invite you on?
You know,
it's levels. It's actually levels, man. Like Haaland, Werner, Havertz.
But this is the thing with Chelsea, and this is the one thing that I compliment the club and Marina in terms of how she handles the business side of it as well, is the way we balance our books out is ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's incredible. You know, right now our financial situation looks unreal, and that's not with any cash injection from Roman. That's just the way that Chelsea have been.
People on here get on my case. Some people get on my case, but then I have to explain it to them and say, look. Their academy has probably got 400 kids on a conveyor belt. Yeah, 50 of them are on loan this summer. I think you've got 50 players on loan or 40 players on loan this summer.
We always have a loan army. Yeah,
it's mad. But then what happens is you then bring them all back. The clubs then go, oh, well, we want him. We'll give you $1 million. We'll give you 5 for him, 2 for him, 5 for him, 3 for him, 100 grand for him. All of a sudden, you've got 70 million quid. When you go and buy Kepa for 72 million and it don't really work out, you haven't really lost any money because you've got another 400 kids coming through. So it's just and then when you go and I'll say, oh, bro, your club's mad. You buy in, what's his name? Bakayoko, right? For 40 million. Absolutely dog shit footballer. Yeah. He's been there nearly 4 years. He's been loaned out for 3 of them. And it's 35 million if AC want to buy him, I think. Is it AC Milan he's at? Or whatever club he's at. Might be Monaco.
If he's still at AC, I think he's at Monaco. I'm not sure. I think he's at Monaco.
Whatever club it is, but then it's 35 million to buy him. It's like, how have you got that clause there that 4 years after you spent 40, he's still worth 35.
Yeah.
How?
I mean, look at the way.
Well, you don't pay up here apart from Kepa. I think you paid well over the odds for him, but he's at Napoli apparently. Big up the chat room.
Oh, yeah, Napoli. He is. Yeah, Napoli. Yeah.
But other than that, like I look at it as well. Who's the lad? Tomori at AC Milan. The kid's hardly played any football ever in his career, and he's 35 million. It's like it's crazy, bro. The way your club is run is absolutely superb. Yeah, it is from top to bottom. The owner's on the same page as all the fans. Yeah, and I'm really gel. I can't lie. I am gel, bro. When I look at and you're sitting there going, yeah, Haaland next, like they're probably thinking maybe we're signing Odegaard on loan again next season. Like,
honestly, and that's the thing. Like, especially with Arsenal, I always said this. Your mistake was leaving Highbury. As far as I'm concerned, it was leaving Highbury, man, because at the beginning, when you made that move to the Emirates, that was a bit of an intimidating move. That was a move like, whoa, maybe Arsenal are looking to get to the big time now. And as Gazida said at that time, you're looking to become the Bayern Munich of England. Yeah, like you're looking to hit that level, and it just never happened. And now, especially, you look at it and you think, flipping hell, the amount of money that Arsenal spent on that stadium. And the amount of debt that they put themselves through, which they managed to clear off, but even so afterwards, nothing's improved. Or, Kroenke doesn't even watch Arsenal. Probably doesn't even know what's going on, but manages the finances. And then we look at us and you see Roman, and he's so attached, even if he's not in the country. He's so attached, and you just know what's happening, and you know what's going on, and the ins and outs, and you know the responsibility that Marina's been left with in his absence. And he done his first interview a few days ago, and that was put online. The first interview we've ever heard from Roman, talking about him being owner, what his plans for Chelsea were when he took over, what are his plans going forward, and you hear him just speak of the club and the way that he identifies with it. All of us are, happy. We know it's not just about money, even though we know that we're not stupid. That is a big incentive, of course. It's a business. But he genuinely cares about the club and wants it to go as far as he can take it, And without fail, despite the decisions we've made, we succeed near enough every season, or we get something or we win something. So, it's just, honestly, it does feel like just levels. And Arsenal, I think, had that opportunity. But moving to the Emirates took off quite a bit of the timescale. Yeah,
I think we were sold a dream back then of being the biggest and best club in the world when we were one of the biggest and best clubs in the world. I mean, we were the best club in England for a lot of that. Man United were up there as well, of course, and you were starting to come. Well, you weren't ever like. And this is another thing that I see a lot of people say. Oh yeah, Chelsea was shit before Abramovich. What a load of rubbish.
No, we weren't.
You'd already won more in Europe than we'd won, right? Albeit you hadn't won a league title for a long time, right? But you still finished getting cup finals and top 6 finishes. I think the season Man United won the treble in '99. I think you finished second.
I think we did.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of people forget that. Yeah, they won the treble, and we finished third, I think, and you finished third.
And that was the season after where we'd won the UEFA Super Cup, and we won the Cup Winners' Cup before that. So we'd done a double there. So and this is the thing. People just think like it's just all about the money. Yeah, obviously money does help. Yeah, it will get you a boost, which it did when he was buying up Arjen Robben and all them ones. It was just a madness, right? But he has slowed right down, and he does treat it like a proper business, a self-sustaining business now, rather than just getting his check like, oh, let me throw another 100 million at it. He don't do that anymore, and the way he's done it has been very smart. Like, because the way the infrastructure he's got there of the youth setup, the scouting setup, the hierarchy that are below him, and then obviously just hiring and firing and being ruthless because he always wants to be up here and be the best. We don't have that. Yeah, and we've allowed the club to have our pants down for a long time over at Arsenal, and I think. I'm not like I can't stand Wenger, and I think a lot of this is down to Wenger. Yeah, the last 10 years he was telling us the top 4 is a trophy. Well, to me, it's third loser. Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? And it's like a lot of the fans accepted that, and from that minute on, our football club's been in the gutter. Because even though we first moved there, I think we got Champions League final the season 2006. Before we moved there.
Yeah. We moved there 2007, I think. And we were Champions League finalists when we moved in. So we're thinking, boy, we're all on now.
Exactly.
And then it's just gone down real quick. And we've never recovered. And so the more and more we fluke an FA Cup final, great, wicked. Yeah. And you do fluke them, and we have fluked them. Like when we played you in 2017, we battered you in that final. Yeah. But when we played you the other season, last season, I think that we got a little bit lucky with that. But that's how it is. It's a cup run. It's luck. A lot of it is luck. Any footballer will tell you that if they've won a cup. When it's a league season, it's not about luck. It's about a consistent level of consistency. Like that's all it is. 38 games, you have to be as consistent as possible. And we don't have that in the league, man. We do it for 3 months. We were talking about this before we went live. We're the top 4 team in the league since December. Well, the league started in September. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like,
and it happens every season with you guys. It's just it's bizarre. And this is the thing with Arsenal. I've noticed is you look at other teams, and we had it. When we won the league with Mourinho the second time, that following season we were 16th. But that was a freak show. That was just a one-off, wow, what is going on? And now we know the details of what was going on behind the scenes. That had nothing to do with what was going on the pitch. It was all what was going on off the pitch. And that affected just the team morale and Mourinho's position. But that was a freak result. You look at Liverpool this season, they'd won the Champions League. They won the Premier League. And now they're performing the way that they're playing. They might miss out on European football. Bit of a freak result. They've had injuries. The whole COVID situation hasn't helped them. Klopp lost his mum. It's just been a horror show.
As well, didn't he?
Exactly. So it's been crazy. But with you guys, with Arsenal, it's been a steady decline. Steady. Top four. Oh, you just missed out on top 4. Oh, you've just missed out again. Top 6. Okay. Oh, wow. 8th. And now flipping out. 10th. 15th at one point. And it's been a steady decline. So it's like, is this where the entire club has been heading? This isn't just a one-off. That's the thing with Arsenal. To try and get yourselves back up again, I can't think of the solution. Personally, I think the solution would be to get a new owner. But you're going to have to convince Kroenke to sell.
And
he's not going to do it.
Look at this comment on here. 99 season, treble winning Man United finished 4 points ahead of Chelsea in third. And 1 point ahead of us. That was when, I remember that season now, actually. I did get it the wrong way round. You finished third, we finished second. That was when we were 12 points clear that season, I think, and they caught us. 11 points clear and they caught us. And the season before, I think it was, the season after, so the 02 season, so it was a couple of years later, they were 12 points clear and we caught them. It was mad, that rivalry back then. But this is why I don't want to know mad. Because I grew up on George Graham. That was my little days. Then I went into secondary school and had Wenger. Winning trophies, doubles. So it's like all the way through my childhood into my adult years, I've seen us win. And it's like, that's why I get so angry with it. It's like the standards of our fans are just happy. And that's why I put a lot of the blame on Wenger, because he did lower the standards of this club. Like, he had high standards at the start, but that last decade when he's telling people fourth is okay, like, I'm sorry, mate, what went wrong with him? Like,
exactly, yeah. And that's the thing. Like, now it's been, people don't realize how fast time passes. It's been 17 years now since Arsenal won a league title. 17 years. It feels like yesterday. I remember Thierry Henry and Bergkamp and all them lot just like lifting the Premier League title at Highbury. Honestly, you guys were so intimidating. I remember I used to look at our team, and every time we go to Highbury, I'd be crapping it. I'd be like, "Oh crap, we're going to Highbury, flipping it." You could already
as well, where like we just beat you in the tunnel every time. Like nobody could beat us, and then you broke that duck, and then from that day on, we couldn't beat you.
But that's the thing, that shift happened. So when Mourinho came in, all of a sudden we started having that feeling at Stamford Bridge. That became a fortress. Before every game, you could just tell in the tunnel, we've won this. It's done.
Yeah.
And that was the shift. But since then, Arsenal, it's just been steady decline. And now it's gone so far compared to where it used to be that I think now maybe a lot of people are realizing just how deep the situation is. So,
It's mad. Listen, bruv, we're going to wrap this up. Appreciate you coming on. There was a guy in the chat that said, I didn't realize you two know each other. We didn't. This is the first time we've ever had a conversation.
It is, yeah. It is.
We've known each other for years, but we haven't. We've known each other for 45 minutes. 5 minutes backstage. But, make sure you are subscribed to Eunice's channel if you haven't already. The link is in the title of this video. Click on it. It takes you straight there. And make sure you're showing some love on this video. Put a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe to me as well. And I will be back again at 9 o'clock. I've got Dammy coming on at 9. Again, it's a Chelsea takeover.
Ooh, nice, nice.
Yeah, Dammy's funny, man. I like Dammy.
He's hilarious. He brings the energy. You're going to have a lot of fun.
He is always hype. So he's going to be on at 9. What's your schedule for today? Are you done for the day, or you got another stream? Or
no, so I've got an upload that's coming up quite soon, probably within the hour or so. Just I think latest stuff of what's going on with Chelsea today, and yeah, apart from that, and that's it.
No, happy days. Yeah, nice one, man. And we'll do something again soon, because this has gone really quickly as well, and I enjoyed it, mate. So thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me on, mate. Thanks for having me on.
No worries. We're out of here. Laters. I'll tet around.